over here in Universal Studios Islands of Adventure, and right behind me is the old Dragon Challenge here that they dismantled and basically closed down permanently last year, 2017 in September. So we're here today filming predominantly because there's some brand new updates to what's going on behind me. So let's talk about some of the things that we know about the new roller coaster that's going into where Dragon Challenge was. As we stated before, Dragon Challenge closed in September of 2017. And there was a lot of rumors going around about what was going to happen and what was going to replace it. Well, the rumors are kind of been solidified now. First of all, Universal describes the ride as a highly themed, fast-paced roller coaster. Now, based off of what we know, when we talk about highly themed, that could be an absolute understatement. Nothing like this has ever been attempted before at Universal Studios in a ride. If you've ever been here at Universal Studios and you've seen the rides and you see the queue lines, you know that theming is a big part of Universal Studios. Now, this is supposed to be completely off the wall. This is something that they've never attempted before. Now, many of the elements in this new ride have been done around the world on different rides, but not all pulled together into a single ride. So we're going to look at the construction, and we're going to talk about the elements and how the path of the ride is going to go. This is a huge undertaking for Universal Studios. It's been a very aggressive stages, very aggressive schedule on the development and the building of this. Every week when I come out here, you can see more and more of what's being developed on the ride. Now, the aggressive schedule is to get this ride ready for riding by summer of 2019. So basically a year from now, this ride is supposed to be complete. We're talking hundreds of trees, massive theming, not just outside where the roller coaster is, but also inside the queue line. This is supposed to be one of the most detailed themed queue line in Universal Studios. So if you walked through the Forbidden Journey and you've gone through Green Guts, you know that the theming and the overall atmosphere has always been very tuned. We expect more from this specific ride. We know the manufacturer of the new roller coaster is going to be Intamin Amusement Rides. They've done literally thousands of rides around the world, including Escape from Gringotts. Some of the other features that we expect on this roller coaster is very similar to the Cheetah Run over at Busch Gardens. So instead of using things like lifts to propel speed on the downslope, there's going to be multiple amounts of quick launches throughout the ride. So we know that Universal is keeping the queue building from the Dragon Challenge, but it's all been gutted and will be redone in an immersive themed queue. So we're very anxious to see exactly what's going to be happening now. Both fire and ice stations will be used differently. They are now connected, and fire will be the new load platform, but now facing in the opposite direction. This will be more of a moving platform, much like the castle ride, the Forbidden Journey, where you walk onto a moving platform and then you board the ride and the ride leads from there. Also, you know, if you haven't been on the Forbidden Journey, very similar to the Haunted Mansion over at Magic Kingdom. The ice station will now be the unload station, once again a moving platform. So as you come in to where the old ice station was, you'll disembark the ride from there. It is strongly looking like the exterior is going to be the Forbidden Forest with all kinds of creatures and theming in there. We know that there's going to be hundreds of trees along the track width to make it look like you're in a very, very dense forest zooming along, and there's going to be multiple launch spots inside there. Now we're going to talk about step by step what's going to be happening in the ride. So you can see the construction over in the background here. The big building back there that has the big white wall, that's the old queue line for Dragon Challenge that they're keeping. And in some aerial photographs, you can actually see some of the track movement out there. The ride begins exiting the building where the fire dragon used to end. So it's going to be a reverse to what you might be used to if you ever did the Dragon Challenge. The ride's going to start off slowly, and we're going to kind of see Weasley's vehicle heading towards us, kind of meandering slowly, coming towards us. And then once we pass it, that's when we hit our first high-speed launch. And then we're going to fast curve to the left, and then we're going to pass some underneath some tracks above us. We're moving fast towards a small round building. So the building is near Hogsmeade's train station, and this section will be lower than Hogsmeade and viewable from the queue line. When we get to the building, we slow almost to a complete stop, and we kind of curve off to the left on the inside of this round building and basically follow the inside wall. Now this is Hagrid's hut, and we see Hagrid himself, and it seems to be interacting with some type of creature. And when it gets startled, we hit our second high-speed launch and exit the building. So at this point, we're in the most exciting part of the ride now. It's a straight shot with a curve to the left, and then a high bank turns, and we kind of double back on ourselves. We curve to the right, and we hit our third high-speed launch through a deep trench, and we hit a long oval kind of off to the right. So now at this point here, we're going to pass under some rocks. And as we come to a slow down, we're going to see our three-headed dog friend, Fluffy. As we pass Fluffy, we make a sharp curve to the left. We now hit our fourth high-speed launch into a cave. It's pitch black in here, and we can feel as we start moving up into a steep incline, we get slower until we stop at the top of the incline. We are now multiple stories off the ground and almost straight up. We are still in the cave, and it's very dark. The brakes release, and it's a free fall backwards. As we exit the cave, we pass the turn we made after Fluffy as the tracks have switched behind us. All right, now we hit our fifth high-speed launch backwards. We curve to the left, backwards in a 360 degree as we go upwards, surrounded by devil's snare vines, and it's getting darker. As we're going backwards, we're going to be seeing vines showing up on our, on our sides, and then we go right into the middle of some devil's snare, and we come to a sudden stop. At this point, we're not sure what's going to set it off, whether it's going to be a wizard casting a spell, or maybe the top opens up and sunlight comes pouring down, or some light effect comes in, that Devil's Snare releases the train, and we do a vertical drop straight down, very much like the Tower of Terror effect. And at this point, we make our sixth and last high-speed launch as our escape from the Devil's Snare. We pass over the tracks from earlier scenes, and we come to the end where the Ice Dragon used to finish its old run. Now, the end of the ride is very much like the beginning. It's a moving track, so you're going to basically walk off onto a moving platform. The details to the other creatures we will see is still a mystery at this time. There's speculations, but there's no really solid facts of what the creatures will be inside the ride itself. The only other indoor sections aside from the queue line area will be the hut, the dark cave, and the Devil's Snare. We expect transitions from scene to scene to be amazing. This is going to be so very unique. It is expected to set new standards in rides pretty much everywhere. Nothing like this has ever been attempted. As it comes to the queue line, the details are still being worked out as far as we can tell, but expected to be amazing. The overall gist is, if you thought the queue line for the Forbidden Journey or Escape from Green Guts was amazing, this should be just putting it to shame. As we said before at the beginning, the new coaster is expected to open in the summer of 2019. And I, for one, cannot wait.
This is the night, this is the night. This is the night.